That's how it goes.
Yeah, well, whoever's responsible for that is,
The editor.
the editor.
That's right. Not the producer.
No, it's not the producer. The producer just gets to yell at people. Here we are again.
Yeah.
And
Prior, it was like Monday. Because,
it's pretty interesting to watch us.
oh my goodness.
Watch me and listen to you.
Yeah.
That's, okay. That's all right. So let's see. Thursday night.
And tomorrow we have double birthdays.
Oh, that's right.
We have Angus's
Tomorrow.
birthday and Lenny's birthday.
Angus McEachern, our showrunner, and Lenny Kotke, formerly of the Good Rats. Now
One of our free-for-all Fridayers.
Rats. One of our free-for-all regulars. And so it's going to be a birthday party tomorrow night.
Mm-hmm.
Bring your own entertainment. But the nice thing is that whatever you bring to the party, what?
Tom's saying your mic is off. God.
No. Is it really? Tom is saying my mic is off? Don't say it, Tom.
How long ago was that?
Hmm?
Nobody else said it.
Nobody else is listening to me. Nobody else gives a shit what I
He
say.
said, Steve, mic is off.
How
How about me? Can you hear me, Tom?
Yeah, really. What do you give a shit? Once you can hear her. Can you hear her
hear
typing? I can see it. I can see it.
I have to mute it when I type.
I can see it clipping, which I don't understand what that's
Oh,
from.
shoot.
What are you doing?
Oh, he said it was off.
It's so no longer off.
And Mark Visconti said, we can hear you both.
Oh, and don't we sound good?
Oh, and Kitty sent 2 birthday cakes, one to Angus and one to Lenny.
Oh,
Tomorrow
wow,
night,
you
Kitty.
bring him to the
Tomorrow
party.
night.
Bring him to the party.
Richard Wing says your volume is lower than normal.
My volume is lower than normal. Okay, well let's take care of that. How's that, Richard? Better? Better? Yes. It's going to take 15 seconds, but if you say yes, then I'll know.
Thank you,
that
Pat.
you're answering the right question. Oh, that didn't work. That worked. Thank goodness.
Oh, and Kitty.
And Kitty. Gotta love it.
Kitty stars are working tonight.
Yeah, mine aren't.
All right. Now you're really loud.
I'm too loud.
No, you're not.
No, let's go here. Let's go. I'm gonna go to. It's you know what? It's weird because what?
I think mine is too loud. But
So move it farther away. No. You want me to turn yours down?
Brenda. Thank you, Lori.
Oh, do you want me to turn yours down?
I don't know.
See, she is not subject to the same patch bay nightmare that I am. What's this now? Oh, the ice cream man's here.
Oh, thank you, Michael Newton, Mega Star Cinder.
Oh. Flame for you. Yeah, that's good. I'll listen because we had a starless episode.
Last night.
Oh, yeah, the stars were not coming out last night.
Well,
She's one of my little stars back here.
sometimes it's cloudy out.
Sometimes it's cloudy, you can't see the stars. But,
Okay,
happy
wait.
to say that. Wait, now what?
Says, let's see. I don't know. Thanks, Lori, again. Ooh. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is the only channel you're on Facebook.
Yes, we eliminated the friends, just the regular Steve page because people were not able to engage in chat.
Right.
Or the
We need the children
offering
of
of
the lawn
stars.
to be together.
Yeah, we need the children of the lawn to be in one place. Where are they? There they are.
They're all in
Tiny.
on your fan page. Yeah, they weren't able to talk to each other and read everything from each other.
I mean, it's weird. You know, this is doing a show like this really takes more than two idiots.
Does it?
Well,
like this?
No, I mean well.
You know what? Our guest hasn't even come on yet, so.
Okay, do we know? Con to what?
We don't want him to hear
he
this
drop
and
already?
say, "Oh, I'm not going on that show."
Hey, listen, our guest. You know, I've interesting.
We have a guest tonight, people.
Yeah, that's true.
We have a very good guitarist.
Angus Clark, and it's going to be
different
interesting.
Angus.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see who all of the cross. You know, I know you, you know me. This one, that one. But I have Angus's.
Oh, thank you, Shar. All of his credits.
Actually, I have.
For the past
where did
20
Angus
years,
put
he's
his cool
played
pictures?
with Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Yeah, but Angus gave me a bunch of pictures. The media's okay.
And he's
there it
played
is.
with Cher.
Yeah.
And
So you cannot. There he is. There he is. Angus Clark.
And
Plays the Strat. Gotta like that. Oh, that's a flying V though.
what's that?
That's
Broadway
probably
thing
TSO. That's
Broadway thing that Tony Bruno does.
Rockers on Broadway,
He does
or
that. Rockers on Broadway.
yeah, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
So that's our guest tonight. Angus Clark will be.
Oh, thank you, Sue.
Thank you, Sue.
Well,
Thank you, Sue.
children of the lawn,
Hey, really, you guys are lighting up the lawn tonight.
like fireflies. I know you guys can't wait for spring.
Yeah, we hear you're having a hard time up there. I mean, it's like today down here was like a week or two after Labor Day. You know how it gets in the evening, and it's a little.
I don't think you want to tell them that.
What?
They
Don't
got
tell them that.
snow and stuff.
Oh.
Yeah.
Should I send
they're
you
like,
warmth
You know
and-
how when we lived in New York and it was February and we were like, I'm so sick of this gray.
I'd hear crying.
Oh,
I'd be in the
my
living
God.
room, and I'd hear crying coming from where the computers were in the dining room part. She'd be in there watching, looking at the beach cam.
I was at the beach camp down here. I'd be watching it on the
Captiva.
computer, just watching
and we
it.
were up. I mean, if I could show you the view, but it doesn't matter. If imagine you were in a tree house, like 400 feet over a lake with nothing but the tops of trees, and everything as far as you can see is covered with snow, and then across the lake is where there's more mountains, and it's all.
So I was watching,
the whole world turns black and white. I loved it, but only to a point.
I had to hibernate in the winter up there, and I got
did.
very depressed every winter.
Is that what did it?
I need greenery and flowers.
Just needed some greenery and some flowers.
And that's right.
So-
Thank you, Shar. Wow.
Oh, okay. We're having a.
Shar's house, she's like 100 little fireflies in the lawn.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to my lawn. My lawn is missing. So, but anyway, I'm following. Not following. I shouldn't even say that. Following the Olympics. I don't give a shit. No,
Whoa, Steve.
no, that's not true either. I am very much a sport. I love the Winter Olympics more than I love the Summer Olympics.
I like those gymnasts in the summer. The women ones, the girls.
The women ones.
Yeah, I don't like the men gymnasts.
No,
I don't watch them.
no, you don't.
No.
You like the girls with the ribbons?
I like the girls with the ribbons.
Yeah, those ones.
Yes, the Simone Biles and those.
Simone Biles, does she just do the ribbons?
I don't
All
know
right,
why.
back up there, Katie Couric.
Katie
So,
Couric.
coming to you live from Oslo,
I'm like,
where there are no limits.
oh,
It looks
saved
like
by Angus Clark.
Yes, saved by the bell. Okay. Ding dong. Come in.
Come on in, Angus. Aha.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hey, man.
Wow. Wow, and he's got it right on the
Yeah.
first try.
Wow, got it right in on the first time. The shot looks good.
Yeah.
Metric set to 120. Oh, it's awesome. No, it's good.
All right. We're off to a good start.
Yeah, we're off to a great start, man. Oh, it's funny. I was just thinking the other day. You got a looks like a Plexi behind you, and maybe a JCM 800.
Yes.
Did you ever see? I don't know. I know you're from New York, but there was one of the hire companies, and you'd only see this amp every once in a while. Had a Marshall at the top that they broke off the A and they broke off the R, and they moved the R over. And they broke the top of the H off, and it said Mr. Snail.
I don't think I ever saw that amp.
Oh man, I think it was SIR.
Of course, it was SIR.
Mr. Snail, I'll never forget that.
Well, I think the H is what always gets. So it's a Marshall. Half the backline Marshalls there are the Marshall. Yeah, we see that a lot.
Right. So yeah, so just get rid of that A, move the R over, and you're good to go. A little dot up there, and you're in it, man.
For Snail, look at that S-Car go. There it is.
Oh, I got that. Okay, so what's happening, man? I think we have some mutual acquaintances. I love to do the 6 degrees of separation. You do the TSO thing, right?
I do. I've done the TSO since 2001.
Really? And now there's 2 of them, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Right. And go
ahead.
I'm in what's called the West Coast band because we make it to the West Coast, but we also do the Florida shows. So
is that the one with Al Petrelli?
Yes. Yep.
Oh. Al is an old friend going back to stories that he wouldn't want me to tell you.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I've been doing it with Al since 2001, and at the time I started, Long Island was very well represented on our tour. Yes.
Yeah, I know that. I mean, I know a lot of people that have been through those ranks. And who was the? Well, did you know? Was it Jill Joya?
Yes. Jill.
I've had Jill on the show, and Jen Cella.
Yeah. Jill's amazing, and so she was in the West Coast band the whole time. She was with the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, and that was awesome. I think she started in 2002, so from 2002 on, and then Jen. My first gig that I ever did as a part of the Trans-Siberian Orchestra was a miming appearance on QVC, right? The direct sale, TV show thing. And so we had to go down to it's in Maryland, like outside of DC, somewhere down there, or Virginia. And we had to go down there, and so I had just been hired. I was living in Brooklyn at the time. The musical director, Bob Kinkle, also lived in Brooklyn. And the other guitar player was Alex Skolnick, who's from Testament and stuff like that.
Right, well.
And so they said, yeah, we're going to do this thing. It's mostly miming. We know you know the material, but you don't really need to play it on this one. And so it's going to be you and Skolnick, Jeff Plate. Chris Caffrey was pretending to play the bass because Dave Z wasn't available. And Jen was, I think, brand new, and she came down and she sang like an acoustic number. So I did that one gig with Jen, and then once we started the tour, I was in the West Coast band, she was in the East Coast band. We never got to play together again until this year. She came out to cover, because we had, we were touring in the midst of the pandemic. There were a couple of shows where one or another of the singers, for one reason or another, wasn't able to perform, and she came out and just knocked it out of the park. She came in, just here, Yep. Here's
pro.
it's been 15 years. Done. It was amazing.
DNA.
Okay,
but the thing about that, I was talking to Al. I had Al. Al's been on the show, last year. And so I did a couple of follow-ups with people just to see what's been going on in the past year. And he told me about what you were going through out there with the masks and the buses and the whole thing. And it's like, man, brave hearts. What's something going on over here that we
Well, no, one of our viewers, though, wants to know which, I guess, TSO Joel was in.
Joel Hoekstra is the stage left guitar player, so Al's position in the East Coast band.
Oh, in the East Coast. Okay, got it.
Yeah. So Joel and I met because of Rock of Ages, the musical. He was the lead guitar player. There are two guitar, because it's Broadway. You call it a chair.
Right, of course.
It's rock and roll. You don't call it a chair, because it's Broadway.
Right. Well, trust me, I have friends who go both ways.
Oh, you just had Bergamini on.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, there you go. And believe me, I know a lot of guys that. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. The chair. It's the chair. It's okay.
So Joel. Yeah. So Rock of Ages, the musical, you started out in like a club in Los Angeles, and they developed it and brought it to Broadway. And Joel Hoekstra had been doing Love Janis on Broadway, and I think he was already in Night Ranger at the time. So he had like more 80s cred and more chops, and he had Broadway chops and 80s chops, and like just was the perfect guy for it. And so he brought in, and he actually developed that lead part in that show to be what it is. And then there's a second guitar player, the guitar two, and the guy that was doing that was playing guitar for Blondie. And I got introduced to them by Konstantin Maroulis, who was the lead.
Yeah.
He was the lead in the show.
Pesco for a while. Was he in the mix, Paul?
No, Paul Pesco never. He's Paul never did that. I don't think I've ever
saying
met.
something about Konstantin Margolis,
that was
or
Tony Bruno that was doing that one.
Oh, Tony, maybe Tony Bruno. Wow,
No, Tommy Williams. That's who. Tommy Williams.
Tommy, Tony, Paul, they've all no. No, it's a fun. I'll get to that. I don't want to go on too long, but anyway, I got introduced.
Man, we're hanging backstage. This is house hanging. That's all.
It's six. It's always going to be 6 degrees of separation. I was in Brooklyn. I was making a record at a studio down there with a guy named Mike Borelli. Do you know Mike? No.
I know the name Mike. Yeah, I don't know him terribly well, but I probably was on a session with him somewhere. Yeah, I know.
And they knew Konstantin, and they introduced me to Konstantin and gave my number to Joel. And so I went in and I subbed on the rhythm guitar chair, the guitar 2 chair, for the first year. It had just gone to Broadway, so I was there for like the first year. And so keep in mind, both the guitar players on the gig have other gigs. Like Joel is in Night Ranger and Tommy is in Blondie. So I'm subbing in there like at least 10 shows a month, which is like awesome. You know what I mean? So it was, and I had just had my daughter, and my wife was like, "You need some in-town work. You need some work in town. You can't keep touring." So that was awesome. And then over the course of time on that, I started subbing both chairs. So I was doing Joel's part. And that's, while I was in there, is when Skolnick took off from the TSO. And I was just like, me and one of the singers both said, you got to get Joel in on the Trans-Siberian Orchestra thing. And of course, he probably would have found his way there anyway, because he's a super diligent worker, go-getter, awesome guitar player. But it was nice to be able to be in the mix to help put that together. And then, over the course of the 7 years we were there, Tony Bruno came in probably less than a year, kind of like subbing, and it was just a thrill for all of us to have him there, because I mean, we're doing like there's a Joan Jett tune in the show, and he played it with Joan, and there's he just massively, and he actually did the Constantine gig on a couple of shows with me too. And there again, he was just awesome.
And
he never showed up with the same guitar twice.
No, Tony would not do that. That's it. That would I'd be surprised.
It's like wearing the same
if
outfit.
he did that. Yeah. And I know Tony a long time, man. I know Tony back to the
like Al Petrelli days.
Yeah, like Al when they were too young to get in to see us play and stuff. And great memories with those guys. And very cool for me to see where they've gone. You know, I spoke to Tony not long ago, and I've had them both on the show, and it's fun because the whole idea when I decided to do the show was. It was just an excuse to talk to guys that I wasn't going to talk to under any other circumstances unless we were out on the tour and I ran into, TSO's playing and I had the night off, or it was whatever, or any other number of, that's what I was looking to create because I next to the actual playing, that's what I miss the most is hanging and just, the stories and the chatter. So I figured, let's just do that and see how it goes. And it's fun. And people, you'd be surprised, or maybe you wouldn't be surprised, but how many people have no idea what goes on in these conversations like we have now? You know what I mean? It's like two race car drivers going to have a totally different, bullshit session than a farmer and a guy who runs a gas station. So it's fun. It's fun for me to share that. And it's cool to meet new people, such as yourself.
It's great to meet you. I mean, I was doing some listening. Growing up I grew up on the Upper West Side in Manhattan, and Rat Race Choir was just like, it was always a commercial on Carol Miller on PLJ would just be like, this weekend at Mulcahy's, or I can't remember the names of all the joints on Long Island. I was too young to go, but I would always like, and Twisted Sister, all the Twisted Sister announcements all the time.
It's so, man, and it's funny when you just said that, it just gave me such a rush back to being about 12 or 13 years old. The Rascals, obviously, and that, that was the band that I was too young to go and see.
Right.
Records, but and I would have my transistor radio underneath my pillow and be listening to, Dandy Dan Daniels or somebody from back then talking about the Electric Circus, and I was like, oh God, what's going? It's like right down there in the city, and how do I get there? Hey man, I'm flattered and honored to be part of that kind of a memory because it was such an important one for me, and it's cool to have that. So
that's so neat, and I know I'm sure you're getting asked to tell John Entwistle stories all the time, but that just must have been such an amazing. It sounds like you guys had a great working relationship.
I can never tell them enough, and there are so many of them that I never really run out of them, and it's because we were making them right up until the end, if you know what I mean. But he was. I've been thinking about it a lot lately because I just signed a deal to do a 2-volume rarities set. And do you know much about John? You know about his kind of dark sense of humor, that he was the ox and he was, sort of the quiet one and that whole thing.
He had a very kind of an eccentric image that he put forward.
That was no image, man.
No.
That was no image. I remember the first time that we got to the big house in England. You walk in, and it's like walking in. It's in a movie.
It was like The Shining.
Yeah, very much like The Shining, only more English.
Especially after 3 weeks of being there, I was like, get me out of here.
And it's 53 rooms, 50 plus whatever it is acres in the middle of the posh English countryside with absolutely nothing to do.
Nothing.
A full-blown recording studio, right? With no engineer. So, whoops.
Full-blown pub.
And it was just, And you walk into the house, and he says, "Well, we'll go upstairs, and I'll show you where your suite is." And we walk, and there's a Hunchback of Notre Dame hanging it's a circular staircase hanging from a rope with actually anatomically correct whatever it is in his pants, and below that was a statue called Leatherman, made entirely out of red leather, right? Just a bust, no head, but just the neck and the shoulders, and the skin unzipped to show the musculature made out of leather.
Yep.
Weird. Wow.
And your room's over there.
It's a lot of interior design.
There was a skeleton.
There were
and a
skeletons
chair.
on the third floor where the demo studio was. Right outside the demo studio door, there was not a picture. There was a skeleton, full size, an actual real cadaver skeleton that he got from the college or wherever, sitting in a chair. It had to be $1,000 leather chair from Harrods with its hand on a phone. Paul didn't come in yet? No, I'm still waiting. And let me tell you what, if you made it to the third floor of this place, you were probably on some sort of an athletic team. So I don't know who he thought was ever going to get there. And God forbid you should forget anything. It's 10 minutes till you go and get it and come back.
Yeah.
It's not. Those guys were definitely living the dream, making the legends, building the myths and all that kind of stuff. It's awesome.
Yeah, yes, and it's interesting because Pete and Roger are getting ready to go out again, and they're going to do an orchestra thing this time, and probably rightly so. John was forever in that rock band. That loudest rock band in the world. That was John's band. That's the band he wanted to be in. He didn't want to be in. He just wanted to be in a brawl where he got to play as fast and as loud as he wanted, and that was it. So,
you just reminded me that just before what year was it? 2018. I have this cottage industry of subbing for Joel Hoekstra. Like I've done that a lot. And so Joel was playing for Cher, and he needed a few shows off because he was also playing for Whitesnake because he's the busiest guy that I know. And I had to cover these dates for Cher. So one of them was in Grand Rapids, and the morning of the show, I went out for breakfast, and at the one place by the hotel that seemed like it had good breakfasts, because I love breakfast food. I don't know if that's a commonality with musicians, but we'll eat breakfast at 2 a.m. after the gig. We'll also eat breakfast at afternoon, but just not between 6 and 9 in the morning. But so I go there, and I'm sitting next to a guy who looks maybe as out of place as I do, and he noticed I have like a music logo on my sweatshirt, and he was just like, "Oh, are you a musician?" I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "Oh, I'm a bass player." I said, "Oh, who do you play with?" "The Who." And so he had just played that arena, the Van Andel Arena in Grand Rapids, the night before with The Who.
Wow.
Yeah, I think his name is John. Might have been John.
Yep.
Yeah, John Button.
Very nice guy. And I guess that was kind of an orchestral thing, or like a larger band version of the...
Yeah. Let me tell you what, there's... I mean, I sat right next to it for 15 years. And it doesn't come out of an 18-inch speaker. It comes out of the back of a frickin' turboprop. I mean, when John played, it was the most amazing thing because it was his touch on the strings was so delicate. And that's why I wound up playing graphite basses, because he wanted his action so low. That's how he could play so fast. And he would get different harmonics by how hard he was pressing on, And I just remember just the things, watching how delicately he'd go across those strings, but what was coming out at you was like, I'm on the deck of Top Gun. It was like, it was unbelievable. And no quarter for, have you ever heard of a place, what is the place? Remind me.
Oh, Turning Point?
Turning Point. Have you ever played Turning Point?
In Piermont?
In Piermont, New York, upstate.
No, it's not.
Tappan Zee Bridge.
Yeah. By the Tappan Zee.
Well, it's what...
I know the town. I know that area. I love it up there.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
It's a little tiny place.
This is what they refer to as a listening room.
Yes.
There's a bass player lived up there.
Oh.
What's his name? Dave? John?
In Piermont?
In Piermont?
Yeah. My
from Megadeth?
No. He was like a very New York guy. I can't. Man, I just remember being up there for a family thing because my wife had relatives up there, and running into him and just being like, "You're a bass player, and we've played together." It was like one of those weird New York moments. So sorry. Turning Point, Piermont.
It's
Tell
like
me the story.
Stephen Talkhouse out in Amagansett,
yeah,
that
Stephen
size.
Talkhouse. I'm sure you've played a listening room. A listening room is just a place that's too small to have a big band, so they'll have a big artist and charge a big ticket number for a small amount of people. So when we played the Turning Point, which holds 98, I think, is their fire capacity. We're loading. Well, we get there later, and the crew had just arrived. And they said, "John, how much?" And he says, "How much what?" And they said, "How much of the rig do you want?" And he says, "All of it." Now, I don't know if you know what that constitutes, but at the Turning Point, it took up the whole stage. It was the same rig that he uses at Madison Square Garden. It's like.
Yeah, which his roadies used to call Little Manhattan.
Yeah, they used to call it Little Manhattan. It was relentless. But he was,
It's a real challenge to make a small place feel big. Like the first band I was ever in that was signed, kind of like we would make it a point to bring like lighting effects into CBGBs. So we would have like extra lights you would turn on with, we would have like a power strip with a switch on it, and you'd step on that to turn on a lighting effect, and a smoke machine, and even some kind of rudimentary lasers. And, it was like, that was the thing, like make the small place feel big.
About the size of the Turning Point.
Yeah,
CBGB.
yeah, CBGB is about the size of the Turning Point. So imagine if you've ever seen The Who or on stage at Madison Square Garden. Imagine that rig
on that stage,
on that CBGB stage.
Yeah.
But
it's
that's
keyboard player had to play on the
keyboard
floor.
player played on the stairs.
On the stairs.
Yeah, I know. Well, and that's what, if you're going to pay the money to see John Entwistle, you want to see him, make his sound through his equipment. That's
you know what? It's very funny that you said that, because I don't know if this is still loaded, but I'll Wednesday. By the way, that's Lori, my wife and producer, not necessarily in that order.
Hello, Angus.
In that order.
Hi, Lori.
We just do Wednesdays. It's like, WTF Wednesday, or anything goes Wednesday. And so the fans will ask for different, can we have this, or can we see that, or can we see
different things
this?
from Steve's
stuff that I played
career.
on over the years. Yeah. But I hope this is still here, because do you know the song by The Who called "Success Story"?
I don't know that one.
It's a John song, and he plays it on an 8-string.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Just if it's there, it'll be fun. You'll be fun. This is rehearsal, so just hang on for a second. Bear with me, because this could be fun. It could be a disaster too. But oh, here we go. Yep, you got it. Don't you? Maybe you don't. Oh shit.
So one of our viewers saw Cher with Cyndi Lauper.
Oh. No.
Oh, is that how they became friendly? They did a tour together, I guess.
I guess so. Anyway, sorry it didn't come up. I would have had. Whoa, all kinds of stuff going on. I would have had to reload it. It was a clip. It was a clip of rehearsal, and John, at the end of, towards the end of his career, he designed a bass called the Buzzard, and eventually he had it made with Warwick, but the Warwick next he wasn't happy with, and then he went to a company called Status.
Thank you, Shar.
And he liked the graphite neck because he could do it, play it real low. But then he had these 8-string, and man, let me tell you what, it was like the Vulcan harp. This thing, it was just so. We were rehearsing one of the 8-string songs, and my roadie took my video camera and stood right in front of John, and it's like isolated bass track right in your face. I was going to try to play it for you, but
oh man.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing. I just love the sound of a SVT, big SVT rig. Whether you're using the 810s or he was, I don't know what his all consisted of. He probably had like 18s and horns and
he had
all kinds of crazy stuff.
He did 12s and 15s. He did everything. I mean, he had that Sun Coliseum PA on stage in the 60s for the 70s. But in the end, in my years, in the later years, he was using 15s and 12s, and he would use and plenty of them. There were 8 12s and 4 15s, powered by endless racks of. They were Trace Elliott's back in the day, and then they went to Ashdowns, but. The sound, it almost didn't match up with what you were hearing, because he's sitting there and he's doing. I mean, it's like ridiculous looking, and you're hearing. Sounds like a drummer playing notes instead of
Right. It's just such a it's just so when I was growing up, right, on PLJ, they were always announcing Rat Race Choir and Twisted Sister on Long Island, and then on the radio in like 80, 81, Joe Lynn Turner had joined Rainbow, and they would play Stone Cold and Jealous Lover, right? And so just a few years ago, again, thanks to Joel Hoekstra, I wound up playing for Joe Lynn. And so like there I am, like playing these tunes that used to just dominate the radio when I was a teenager. And so the feeling when like he would step to and his voice is still great, and he would just step to the mic and open his mouth, and it was just like, you just got chills. And so I could just imagine, with Entwistle, like you're sitting there and then suddenly that sound is coming out from right next to you. You just get the electric shock from it.
It's first of all, I mean, Joe Lynn, I could tell you some good Joe Lynn stories. I was in Rainbow for a week.
See, I'm a massive Blackmore fan. My white Strats are over there.
Scallop neck or no?
They're all. The playing part of it is all set up for Angus, but the look and the tone is all set up.
I get it. I totally get it. And Richie's an interesting guy. He's everything that you've heard,
but he's a great guitar player.
But he is an amazing guitar player.
We had John O'Reilly in the TSO band, sure. and I'm great friends with Mike Sorrentino as well.
Yeah, I haven't had O'Reilly on the show yet, but I've had Mike on.
You did a tour with Joe Lynn with Brian and Cliff from AC/DC.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I was in a project. Oddly enough, we have a hurricane. My house is still standing. Let's do a hurricane relief show. We have an arena down here, and I called all my friends, and the guy who owned the radio station said, "Well, I know Cliff Williams from AC/DC, and
because he lives in Fort Myers.
Because he lives in Fort Myers, which is like right here." And he said, "I'll give you his number. Give him a call," which is like kind of like what, because we don't, the law, you don't give anybody's number out. Yeah. But he gives Cliff's number, gives me, and I said, "Hey, Cliff, it's Steve from John Entwistle Band." "Oh, hey, mate, how you doing?" And they wound up doing the show, right? They wound up. Because
Brian lives up in Sarasota.
Because Johnson lives in Sarasota, which is maybe an hour from here. And so after the thing is over, Cliff and I, I mean, we're in Southwest Florida. It's not like the music capital of the world. And so you find another guy that plays, that speaks the language. It's like, oh, God.
Yeah.
So I said, anytime you want to play, my guitar player's in New York. He's got a room in my house. I can bring him down. He goes, oh, well, my singer's up in Sarasota. So we wind up. I said, well, if you want to play, man, let me know. And we did. We jammed, and my guitar player and I wrote some rhythm tracks, and Brian and I wound up writing lyrics. Anyway, we put this whole thing together, and there's like 7, 8, I don't know how many songs. And they said, well, let's go do some playing.
And Jolene used to sing on your demos.
So Jolene, I've been friends with. I've known Jolene since Fandango, which goes all the way back to the Jersey days.
Yes, it does.
And he sings anytime I do a demo. It's always Jolene that usually does it.
Yeah.
But I had him come out on the tour, to do the Deep Purple stuff, and Buck Dharma came out to do the BOC stuff.
And Mark Farner.
And Mark Farner was out doing the Grand Funk stuff. It was a blast.
Yeah.
It was and so
that was not with Intwistle.
yeah, that was way.
That was after John died. Yeah.
Yeah.
Steve Luongo's classic rock cavalcade.
No, it was actually called Classic Rock Cares.
Rock Cares.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you are so inclined, and if you Google Classic Rock Cares, you'll see. We did some great shows with Brian and Cliff. I mean, Brian is just. He's Brian. It's Brian Johnson, and he is just one of a kind, man.
And he loved Jolene and the way Jolene.
Yeah, and he loved Jolene. Yeah. When Brian turned 60, we had he had not one, not two, but 3 birthday parties. One in Italy, one in London, and one in Sarasota. And for the one in Sarasota, he rents like a ferry, I guess, for lack of a better word. And so there's however many 100 people on this boat. It's a pleasure
nobody
boat.
can crash the party.
Yeah, because nobody can crash the party unless there's.
And he had laminates made up.
And it was
Brian's party.
Duck Dunn was playing. I mean, it was just a cavalcade, as you said, and just crazy.
And he had Jolene come sing.
And Jolene came and sang, and they were good friends. And they so when we went out and did our tour, he said, have Joey come and play some dates. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah, I would love to see Joe back in the States sooner than later, because it was a lot of fun, and I loved all the. I mean, that was a golden time, like what was on the radio those couple of years, like of 79 to 82. Wasn't like the hair band 80s, that whole glammed up thing hadn't happened yet. And, you had great things. All the biggest Tom Petty records came out, like Damn the Torpedoes and all that stuff was out. And then I think Springsteen had The River, and, Hungry Heart was playing on the radio, and then Jealous Lover and stuff like that. So when I got, and Al, of course, played with Jolene. He's got, so I'd met him once, but then to actually get to play all this stuff with him was so cool. And one other thing, I was watching some Rat Race Choir videos, and you guys are doing these immaculate covers of Jethro Tull songs.
Oh yeah.
And I was, and that's like one of my favorite bands ever.
Agreed, man. I agreed, and absolutely agreed. So you like Martin Barr then, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I just love the whole thing. I actually have one of those little acoustic guitars, an 016 NY, a Martin 016, which is the small one that Ian Anderson used to play before he started getting these custom ones that are even smaller.
Yeah.
But
when somebody sends stars, they get that.
Those things go
that's
off.
for
Okay.
Mousy.
You send stars, you get a shout out.
Excellent. I love that.
Yeah.
Wow. Little low budget tech for you. But, Steve's got the Star Wars background, so I'm going to give you one of these.
Luke, I am your father.
There you go. It's a
That's
special.
awesome. What are you patching through? Are you going through a harmonizer?
It's proprietary information. It's very complicated.
Understood. No questions asked. Believe me.
You're our kind of guy. I tell you
Yeah,
that.
that's great. Believe me, I always appreciate it when somebody has a good sound effect at hand. I know I'm dealing with it's a pro, right?
So
They weren't very loud, but they were there.
I have.
I have. Oh, drummer's here. Pizza.
So at one point in the TSO, we have a violin player, a feature violin player that travels with us, right? And the woman that was doing it for 3 or 4 years was named Anna, and she's British. And after she got done with the TSO, she joined Jethro Tull. And she and I had written, like, basically co-written half of her. She made an album, and I played guitar in the whole thing, and I co-wrote like half of it. And they played 2 of those songs in the Jethro Tull set. And Ian Anderson introduced like the song by saying that now we're going to feature Anna on this song, and this is something she co-wrote with Angus Clark. So he actually said my name from the stage and had to learn a melody that I wrote with Anna. So I was like,
that's big, man. And who was playing drums at the time?
Oh, it's this guy who also did the Guitaro gig, but he and I never did it at the same time. Don Perry.
Don Perry. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll go full circle with you. This is the wildest Entwistle Tull drummer story that I have close at hand. John, we toured together in '87 with Rat Race. He plays bass, the bass player sings, and that's what it is. And we did that for a month, and then he called me up and asked me to join his band, which I did. I went and I joined his band, and we toured and we played. And where was I going with the oh shit?
I don't know. Where are you going?
Fried out. Burnout.
It's fine. I do that all the time.
Where were we going? Somebody give me a...
So Jethro Tull, I got to play with Jethro Tull, Don Perry.
Jethro Tull,
Yes.
right. So John asked me to join his band. And I said, okay, no problem. And we actually went into a partnership and did this whole production thing and blah, blah, blah. So I get to his house for the first time, and he says, who's your favorite drummer? And I said, Barrymore Barlow. And he said, really? And I said, yeah. And he goes, oh, because you just replaced him.
Wow.
That blew my... I mean...
Wow.
You wouldn't even think that John Russell would know Barrymore Barlow, but
Those British guys, they all know each other. Give me a break.
And John loved excellence. You know, he wanted the best guys, only the best guys. He was all about musicianship, you know, and it was.
It's that time.
It's what time?
Time for the questions.
Oh no! Have you received the deadly questions?
I have my answers all queued up.
Really? Okay.
All right, this guy's.
Yeah, this is, man. I can tell. Yeah. I can tell who you've been on the road with, bro. Very good. I hope we get a chance to throw down sometime. Where are you? You're in New York.
So my wife and I were in Brooklyn for like 16 years, and now, like the rest of Park Slope, I live in Maplewood, New Jersey. So yeah, it's like almost. I don't know. It's a great area, you know, South Orange and everything. But there's a lot of folks that moved here from kind of Brooklyn and other parts of.
Yeah, no, I believe me.
We have a lot of people on the show from New Jersey.
Yeah, we have a ton of people from the show. And do you know our Angus? Do you know Angus?
McEachran?
We hadn't met before our little chat. You know, as I was doing the audio check with him and stuff like that. But yeah, it's fantastic. And another
Crazy small little world. So he did tell you about Free for All Friday, right?
yes.
Okay. And that's don't be shy. That's just come on in, sit there for 5 minutes. If you feel weird, leave. If you don't, say something. It winds up. And Friday, tomorrow happens to be, it's Angus's birthday. And you know the Good Rats, Lenny Kotke, the bass player from the Good Rats, it's his birthday as well. So it's just going to be silliness.
One of our Friday night people is Mousy, who she's a sound girl for a lot of bands.
Mousy,
she lives in New Jersey, and she just wrote she loves Maplewood.
Loves Maplewood.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
There you go, especially on the neck of a strap.
Mousy's working all the time, so
but you know, everybody, the whole fun thing about this show for me is in the past 2 years, I've met hundreds of musicians. And you know, when you're in that, especially if you're in a band situation where you're not picking up new guys and doing that whole thing, if it's just the 4 or 5 of you touring around, you're in that little microcosm, you don't get to meet anybody. And, you know,
the
so.
microcosm where if you're on a tour bus, you want to kill each other after like the 4th.
Oh, I'm sure he's been on that bus. And so, which bunk on the bus do you like? What's your favorite bunk on the bus?
I am the
Not one of the questions.
front top driver's side.
Oh, you're the opposite. You're the front top.
Well, no.
Side.
I am the middle. The top bunk is claimed for my cack.
Oh, your cack.
I am the middle bunk on the side where the hinges are not.
Yes, the hinges to the door.
Okay, I'm gonna do. I'm just kidding when I'm about to do this, but just this is the kind of thing for everyone that's watching. It's the kind of thing musicians would do to each other. I'm sorry. Say that again. No, that's one thing. Here's the thing. It's like, Steve, the last time I toured on a bus with a middle bunk was a long time ago.
I don't know. Wow, I don't know how many people would actually get that. But yes. No, we used to have, well, you see, okay, now, to qualify,
Well, yes.
my dog and wife came along, and my dog had his own bunk and couldn't get up into the higher bunk. So,
we just made it 2 bunks because I felt like it was a coffin.
Oh yeah,
so.
she had to have the. I
had to have the
so
big
she was
one.
in the middle with no top.
Yeah.
But the point of my side thing is wherever the hinges are on that door, you want to be on the other side. Otherwise, it's bang into your bunk every time somebody.
Unless that has changed. Has that changed?
They all have sliding doors now.
Oh, come on.
Do they
Really?
don't? Do they really?
Yeah.
You lying mother.
No, it's you hit a button and the door slides, and then you can get them with the crew buses have three berths, but what they do on the band buses is they take the bottom the middle one and you drop that to the bottom, and then you take the top one and you reposition it halfway down. It's what's called a condo bunk, so you can completely sit up in the bunk. Yeah. And every now and then I've had an occasion, like over the last 10 years or something like that, something happened. Your bus was damaged and you had to get on another bus, and you get into one of those where they have the 3 berths, and I was just like, oh, I just feel like I got demoted.
Yeah, I believe me, I know. And you see,
I think that's amazing about the door, though.
What?
That it slides.
It should slide. It makes all the sense in the world. I mean, because, but I'm talking about Eagles and early old Prevos.
Steve, don't get me wrong. Every time I've had a tour bus has been amazing. I would never complain about any gig where I had a tour bus. If we're lucky to have done any of this stuff, and I don't complain about getting in a van to do it. I just want to go play, right? So I
personally love the bus. I love the bus, and Entwistle loved the bus. Entwistle used to take the back lounge, and that was his suite.
It's just so noisy back there, the engine and stuff.
To a deaf person, no. No.
And it's bumpy back there.
Bumpy back
But
there.
these are absolutely champagne problems. I don't want anybody to get the notion that I would seriously complain about this bus versus that bus. It's all gravy. To be fortunate enough to do what we do and have done is just beyond words. I'm just grateful for it.
Let me tell you what. And I've run with the great companies. Have run with some great bus companies over the years, and the Todd one with Rundgren was those buses were. Those were high-end.
When you went out with Robin Zander, you guys did the Sprinter van thing.
I'll tell you what, that was actually more fun. When I used to do these fly dates with Robin Zander because Cheap Trick wasn't playing enough, and he wanted to, keep playing, and we put a pretty good band together, a very good band together. Yeah. And when we would do these fly dates, and we would get a Sprinter. And, whatever our stage gear that we took with us would just come along, get thrown in the back. And it's everybody just driving along in a Mercedes, a SUV or whatever it is. I love it. I just, there's nothing like being out there.
Okay, one of the children of the lawn.
Oh, okay. This is the last children of the lawn.
That's our viewers, what we call them.
Children.
Right there. He says, I hate to put you on the spot, Steve, but can you tell him the dollar bill joke? What dollar bill joke is he talking about?
Tell him that, I think he's talking about, are we talking about the dollar bill, the $100 bill joke? Why would he? And
that was not a joke, though.
Would he have some? Would it have some significance to Angus? I mean, I'll tell him.
I don't know. Don't know.
Huh?
I don't know why he. I don't know of a dollar bill.
Let's just wait for that reaction.
It's fun. Do you want to do the secret questions with me?
Let's do it.
And if he responds, telling me that it's the $100 bill.
Yeah, because 4 minutes and it's 8:00, and he probably has a life.
And we don't.
I prepared. I want to answer the question.
He has a wife and a kid.
Come on, I know you've been on the road. I know you've been on that bus. When they call out food and you know you're close to it, your favorite restaurant on the road is
any place in Japan that has that pork katsu, that fried pork cutlet with the dark brown curry gravy on it. That stuff. I love that stuff. Like my first tour was in Japan with Kitaro. I still have great memories, but I just love that stuff. There's one place in the city that does it called Go-Go Curry on 55th Street. And then there's some place, I won't know the name of it, but when I was in Spain, it was like in the north of Spain, and it was like this garlicky fried in butter whole fish. I just have an awesome memory of that. But then all that aside, I'll eat at kebab shops in London all day long. Come on.
I was doing.
You were doing curry shops.
I was doing curry shops. That's me. And I was doing tour of England with Leslie West. And we were in, I think, Newcastle. We get out of the gig and it's late, but there's this one place, and it's like through the window, like an ice cream kind of place, and they're serving curry, like chicken curry on a potato in a cone. It was the most amazing. It was like, oh my God. And will I ever find that place again? No. But yeah, it's not, there's when you're going back to that place, that's cool. And would it be Korean barbecue that you're talking about?
It's Japan.
No, but
in Japan, it's pork, it's a fried pork cutlet over rice with this.
We'll have the research done.
We'll know. Katsu. We know of a plant called katsu.
Yeah, we know.
Okay, next question.
All right, the next
question. That was a good answer, by the way.
Okay, and you've played in a variety of musical situations with an untold number of respectable musicians. Sometimes. And the set list comes out, and there it is. Favorite song to play live. Oh, yes. Favorite song to play live.
Voodoo Child's Slight Return.
Ooh.
Come on.
Well.
Bravo.
Speaking his language.
You're speaking my language, man. I have one piece of memorabilia that hangs. I'm not a that guy. I don't collect the stuff. I mean, I collect the tokens from the tour, but I have one piece of memorabilia that a friend gave to me because I loved Hendrix so much, and it's a double gold album of Experienced, and there's a little plaque in the corner, and it says, "Steve, stay free, Jimi Hendrix."
Whoa.
Now, on the other side of the card, it says, "Steve, lots of love, Barbara Eden." But it's was somebody's autograph book was being sold, and a friend of mine is a collector,
And his
a
name was
collectibles
Steve.
guy, and the guy's name was Steve, and he saw and it was authenticated and the whole. I'll send you a picture of the piece. I'll get we'll do the contact details, but you'll get a laugh out of it. It looks like Hendrix signed it to me, and it's in my control room, but I would have been a little young.
That's awesome.
Okay, so great, man. And I'll play that song with you anytime. I don't need any rehearsal. You count it off, I'll count it off. I'll see you at the end.
Awesome.
Okay. Now the set list comes out. We're not so happy to see this next song. This song is a song that if you never had to play it again, no disrespect to anybody, producers, writers, but I don't ever want to play this song again, and there it is on the set list. What's that song?
Okay, my prepared answer is Killer Queen, because it's just so panic-inducing. And I will play it again in a heartbeat because it's such an amazing song. But it is. I was playing guitar for Mark Martel, who he's essentially a Queen tribute show, but he provided vocals for the movie, like the movie that they just made. Some of it's Freddie. Some of it's the actor, and a lot of it is Mark. And so it's a really high, really elevated level. But Killer Queen is just like all the chords, the jazz chords through the verse and everything. And then the solo starts, and you got...
Shuffle. I mean, come on. Do we need to play another shuffle? I mean, really, I hear you.
But if it wasn't that, I would say More Than Words from by Extreme. I don't really want to play that one again either, but I will.
Yeah.
Hey, Nuno, you hearing this?
It's a great song. It's a great song.
I know. Believe me. This is all just for fun. But okay, so now I can see the guitars, many guitars strewn about, like so many musical memories. But if you could play another instrument other than your own and shred at it, orchestra, harp, timpani, ice bells, what would it be?
I would like to be a better singer than I currently am first. That's number one. The other, when I was in the Guitaro band, there was like a world music element to it, and he had one of those Jerry Jones electric sitars part of it, and so I learned all the scales so that I could sound like in the vibe. And I have an electric sitar, but any one of those instruments, there's actually another instrument, an Iranian instrument called a tar, T-A-R. It's kind of like 4-string double courses, kind of like an Iranian banjo. I would love to shred on something like that. It's like a guitar. But
I know what those are. The only reason that I know what those are is I have a studio filled with libraries of samples, and I've done some music for network shows that you might recognize where people have no clothes on in the jungle, and and sometimes they go to different parts of the world. Yeah, they're naked. They're scared. And there's another one where they have a contest where they have to visit different places, and I have to play ethnic, these ethnic parts.
Yeah.
And so I've seen shit I can't even believe it, that somebody really called it that. But okay, yeah,
so
why
tar,
not, man? Yeah, why?
And singing is good. Steve wishes that
Yes.
he could sing like Christina Aguilera.
Yeah, I wish I could sing like Christina Aguilera, but do you know how weird that would look?
I've heard the tapes of you singing, Steve, and you sound great.
Thank you, man. Not quite Christina, but we'll do it. Okay, and this brings us to the all earth-shattering question. This one is, I think I might know part of the answer to this one, but if you could do one gig live with anybody, living or dead, or any combination of guys, who would it be?
Well, my prepared answer is Jimi Hendrix.
Yep.
See, now I got to show you my pictures, but I'll do it another time.
And I actually think I would like to do it with the Mitch Mitchell, Buddy Miles lineup.
Oh, the Band of Gypsies.
Yeah, that was like Billy Cox, right, on drums, or no? Buddy Miles is the drummer.
Yeah, Buddy Miles. No, you're right.
So, but then he brought Mitch Mitchell back for like Woodstock or something like that. That to me was like just so because it was just nice having him. Just no offense to Noel Redding, but
oh no, go ahead, offend him. I played with Noel.
That's kind of close.
And you can offend him. It's cool.
I met Noel once, and I said,
was he complaining or no?
I said to him, I'm a big fan of Fat Mattress.
Oh, I see that. Very nice. Very nice.
If anybody watching gets that, then you read the same Jimi Hendrix biography that I read.
That's very funny, man. You see, I'm gonna make the vain attempt, a failed attempt, but maybe not, to get lucky and try to show you this thing, because I know now that I know who you are, you will appreciate it so much. And please, I swear I know where it is. Mm-hmm. No, I do.
I'm sure he needs.
I do. Here it is right there.
Okay.
Okay. This is the whole piece. Okay.
Oh wow!
Right? Beautiful.
Amazing. Yeah. Amazing.
This
It's
backwards, but you get the point.
Wow. Wow.
When my friend gave that to me, I was like, "What?" It was awesome. It's so, and believe me, man, I'd be right there with you. I had, and he comes in all the time. You're a Hendrix fan. What was his name? John, the biggest Mitch Mitchell guy like in the world. Has all the kits and does all the. It's just, you never know who you see on Friday. Yeah. If I can get him to come in, man, you got Hendrix questions. They're all over the place. And what you mentioned, the Woodstock footage. Do you remember the guy playing congas?
Yeah, that's
Gerardo Velez, a very, very good friend of mine who, like, every time I see it, it's like, what? Because that'd be the dream for me, man. Hendrix and Entwistle. Think about that.
Oh, yeah. Crazy! That's Crazy Town right there.
Yeah, I am the mayor of Crazy Town.
The other band. Sorry, let's go.
No, go ahead. No, the other band. Go ahead.
Oh no, the other thing that has been, I don't know. It's just lately I've been on this kick. Is that, and this will surprise you because it's not that close to Hendrix in a lot of ways. But if I could have played guitar for any version of the Ronnie James Dio's Dio band at some point, and that would have been and that's absolutely shows the range and your, how they say you could judge the age of a tree by the rings. You know what I mean? That shows how many rings you have, really. I get that, and it's cool. And man, this has been a blast, Angus. Please come in on a Friday. I'll have my Angus. I'll call your Angus, and it's fun on Fridays, man. It gets crazy out of control. Tomorrow's a birthday party. You don't have to bring a gift. Actually, you can bring a gift and just tell them sorry.
Actually,
I wish I was there to give it to you.
Yeah, Lenny is in Antigua. He comes in every Friday night. We have another guy from
Aruba that comes in. People, it's really fun, and it's a good hang. And if you're missing the musician vibe, you're welcome any Friday.
Thank you very much.
Are you promoting anything? Are you playing anywhere?
Is there anything that we need to tell the people?
What have I got going on? Well, I'm doing it. There's a couple dates. So the band from the musical Rock of Ages, we had so much fun playing as a band that we actually do shows now.
Okay, so that's
So
a big thing.
I've got one coming up that's a private, and then I think I'm doing one in April in Connecticut. I'll find out where that is,
Let us
and then
know. We'll post it all. We're about promo. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's all about that for us.
and then my New Jersey credibility is secured now that I play guitar for Dee Dee Verney, the founder and bass player of Overkill.
Oh, there you go.
He has his own band called Dee Dee Verney and the Cadillac Band, and it's a big band doing, like, with horns, doing kind of Brian Setzer style rockabilly show band kind of stuff.
Well, let us know, man. Absolutely, let us know.
Do you have a
and,
website?
And we'll promote for you.
Yeah, you have a
And,
website?
Yeah, just let us know what we need to do. But I'll connect with you, and we'll do the Hendrix thing too.
Yes.
All right, man.
Count me in.
Well, it's great to see you, Angus. I hope we see you. Well, you're welcome tomorrow, but any Friday. And thank you, man. It's been a blast.
Thanks so much. Take care.
Yes.
Thanks so much. Bye-bye. Good to meet you.
Well, that was certainly a lot of fun, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. He was great.
He was great. I gotta go get some.
Okay.
So tell the people about the birthday party.
So, yes, as you know, tomorrow night, Free for All Friday, we have Linny's birthday and Angus McEachran's birthday. So stop by and let's see. Oh, thank you, Lori. So, Children of the Lawn. I don't know where Steve went, but Steve's mic is, your mic is off again.
I couldn't find it.
Okay.
I was looking for Lenny's birthday present, but I couldn't find it.
Oh, all right. Well,
Anyway.
everybody's signing off. So
So are we.
tomorrow night, Free for All Friday and double birthday.
Double birthday. It's a full rat birthday.
Is your mic on now? Yes.
I certainly hope so.
Okay, because Tom said your mic was off again.
Well, Tom, thank you. We'll see
Okay.
you tomorrow night, Tom.
Good night, everybody.
If I don't see you in the future, see you in the pasture.
Good night, everybody.
See, this works again. I fixed that. I can fix stuff.